In game number two of Indiana's Puerto Rico trip, little overseas trip, little off-season summer basketball trip, they had a crazy, crazy game against Mega Superbet, which is a team I believe out of Serbia. Really good team too, for what it's worth. If you look at a lot of the players that are on Illinois this season, they played for this Mega Bet team. And look, this game was ugly for 15 minutes, right? Indiana was down as I think the largest lead for Mega Basket was or Mega Bet was 23 points. So Indiana found themselves in a hole, and then they went on a run. And I'm talking about a run, not just like, I'm saying, a little 7-0 spurt, something like that to get back at. They went on to go on a 56-19 run to beat Superbet after a huge first half deficit. They end up winning this game by I think 28 points is how they won it. A lot of I think interesting moments to break this game down. I do want to say this though, because obviously as this game was going on, they're down 23. You know how it goes. Everyone's on Twitter talking like da da da, this, that, and the third. Oh, this team stinks, another offseason championship. All that to be said. I want it to be known. I was not gonna come on here given whatever the result is and be like Indiana stinks. Because Mega Superbet is good. Mega Superbet is good, and they got a whole new team. So I wasn't really going to even harp on it like that. Now, you don't want to get blown out, I must say, but like a loss to them wouldn't have been like, oh my God, burn the season down. But it's hella impressive that they were able to come down from that many points. Lamar Wilkerson, I believe, led the team in scoring with 18 points in only 19 minutes. He had a really good shooting performance after having a not so good one, 4-7 from three. Um, some other good performances. Sam Alexis was good. Tatum Conaway, who I think is as I watch him, I've been very impressed with what he can do. Now he did turn the ball over a good amount of times in this game with six of them, but I just think he brings a little bit different look at the point guard position for this team. I'm very honestly intrigued to see him play a little bit more. But I said enough. We'll get into it a little bit more. Dion, what are your thoughts on kind of how this win occurred? So maybe some of the players that stood out to you, and just your overall thoughts on this Indiana team.
Can you name me three players from KK Mega Basket?
Yeah, Boga, Markovic, Mihailo Petrovic, and David Mirkovic.
So three dudes that aren't currently on the roster.
Listen, the Serbian basketball culture on Mega Superbet is rich. That's all I'll say.
That's right. Honestly, though, like in the grand scheme of things, like not enough people are talking about like Serbia as like one of the next big basketball powerhouses on an international stage. Um, yeah, I mean, the first thing you have to go to is they're playing a pro team, and that does need to be a factor here, right? They're playing a pro team that in the grand scheme of things, has probably been playing together a lot longer than the 2 months that this Indiana team's been together. So that's why the KK Mega Basket started so quick. They're probably organized. They knew where everybody was going to be. A lot more chemistry. What I love about this is previous versions of Indiana, you would assume they would have quit, right? Like that.
Oh,
That's
oh,
kind of
oh yeah. Like, and I want you to keep going because you're on a great point here. The energy was different. If this happened last season, we were like, oh, okay, well, we got blackjack tables to get to. You know what I'm saying? But they said, no, let's lock in.
Yeah, like the previous versions of Indiana would have straight up just been like, yeah, like we're gonna go get drinks in Puerto Rico instead of be worried about this game. And this team said, no, like we don't want to get embarrassed. Like people are gonna hear about this. So I think that grit aspect of things is massive. Like they clearly are very much so locked in. Um, and I think that matters. Tuck, I keep saying it on videos, looks a little bigger. Looks a little bigger. He's got a couple months to get in shape. The Conway, Connor Enright backcourt isn't one I saw coming. I kind of love it though. Lamarcus Wilkerson really spaced the floor. Reed Bailey, I don't really feel like did a ton. So the more comfortable he gets, I think they have another guy that's on the way to kind of help out. Trent Sisley, back-to-back games with double-digit points too. So the vibes feel different at Indiana this year. Um, and like obviously not the greatest performance, but sometimes though you need a performance like this. Sometimes you need a performance like this where it just kind of like reminds yourself and everybody like, hey, by the way, like we can win if we go down. And I think it'll instill a lot of confidence in them. if they were to like start out down like 5 or 10 points in Big Ten play versus last year. If Indiana went down 10, it was over.
Yeah, I think, to your point, that is, because I saw some Indiana fans talking about this. This is like, I haven't seen a team play with this type of just like energy in
Yeah.
like a long time, like under Woodson, and they were able to show that grit and that energy in this basketball game, and like the way it occurred too, like that run, it wasn't fluky. It was like they just started busting their ass. Like Lamar Wilkerson was hooping, Conway was making plays. They had really good some moments from Ristich as well, I believe his last name is. I'm gonna get that right, probably by the middle of Big Ten play. But look, I was like I said. I wasn't gonna come on here and harp on Indiana for not winning this game because it was against a pro team, to your point, that's been playing together and things like that. But this is hell of impressive. Like, I don't care. Well, actually, I do care because if you're playing like a bum ass team, I get it. A 56-19 run is crazy. That's
Crazy.
that's the real deal right there.
Honestly, I don't care who you play. 56-19 is legit, especially because like the time period they did it in, it wasn't like drawn out. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was quick. That was
Yeah,
quick.
no, they got it together quick. Also another player I wanted to point out, Sam Alexis, had some really good moments in this game. Like I think he's been pretty good on the glass. He had a little turnaround shot as well. He also did like some little passing things. Had a really nice back door to Lamar Wilkerson that I saw. Once again, Trent Sisley, a freshman, has another really good performance in Indiana. It'll be interesting to see kind of what this roster looks like and kind of how it plays out, but. Look, I think that there seems to be somewhat of a mindset and a culture, at least like starting to establish it with Indiana. And this is kind of the first step, I think, where you got to see it. It was like you want to, I'm gonna do my coach speak thing here, but your team's first face of adversity moment, and this is how you reacted. That's
Yeah.
got to feel good. Like you got to feel good about your team doing that, and if you're an Indiana fan, you got to feel good about your team going that too, because I feel like previous years, and I can relate to this, just anti-adversity, run away from it, cower, just take your licks and let's move on. That doesn't seem to be the makeup of this team.
No. And for what it's worth, a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, you did it against KK Mega Basket in August." If I'm a coach, that's my preference. If I'm a
Mm.
fan, that's my preference. I don't want to do it at the Breslin. Are you kidding me? Like, I don't want to find out what we're made of at Mackey. I want to know what we're made of before we go to
Let's
Mackey.
find out what we're made of in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, where no one's really watching it. Like, if we're not made of anything, it's in a newspaper article, not on ESPN or Fox. Like, I do not want to find out what we're made of on a big stage. So I think this is the perfect way to do it. Everything's lining up Indiana at the moment. Ethan Taylor visit on the way as well. I know Cart doesn't want to hear about that, but it is loading. I think everything's coming up, Darren. And it's honestly disgusting, man. Like, let's just
This should be you, huh?
Nah, but everything's coming up, Darren. Great coach. I knew he would be. It stinks that he's doing it somewhere else, but I am happy for the guy. He seems to be having a lot of success, and I would be very scared of this team if I'm in the Big Ten because the scariest version of Indiana to me is the same scariest version of like the Yankees or the Cowboys or the Knicks. Like you take the biggest like media entity in a sport, make them an underdog. Make them somebody no one's talking about and watch how scary it gets.
The fake underdog, doctor method. Nothing better for Indiana Hoosiers basketball. Last thing I'll say about this, Lamar Wilkerson is going to be like one of the better scorers in the Big Ten. Like he'll be like the thing is, I don't know how it's going to translate to team success, but Lamar Wilkerson is an all Big Ten guy in my eyes, and I don't know if everyone else is putting him in that mold. You think he's like what's the ceiling for Lamar Wilkerson at Indiana?
I think when we're talking individual accolades, the ceiling for Lamar Wilkinson depends a whole lot on the ceiling for Tucker.
Hmm.
I believe Tuck, individually speaking, if I had to choose one, I'm choosing Tuck over Lamar. And because I think Tuck creates his own looks a lot easier than Lamar does. So I think a lot of it comes down to what role exactly Tuck plays. If you get the version of Tuck you got in this game, and that's been popping up in practices where it's like a little bit bigger, yeah, I think Lamar Wilkinson could be an all Big Ten guy. But if you get the best version of Tuck, I don't think so, just because of the ball's going to be in his hands a lot.
Yeah, 100%. But look, really good to see from Indiana in this basketball game. Salute to them for getting it done. Uh, and yeah, you should feel good about your team, Hoosiers. That's a good, really good win. And being able to, I think the story of that one, I think you rightfully pointed out. That's what you, in the face of adversity. Yeah, yeah, you can do it on it, but can you do it in a balmy summer day on a Saturday in Puerto Rico? So all my soccer fans out there, it's great to do it in the big moments. So can you do it at a cold, rainy Tuesday at Stoke? That's when you really find out what you're made of. Shout out to Indiana. Did really good work on this one.